Let's go Falcons. What if I told you that the Atlanta Falcons might be flirting with the idea of bringing in the NFL's current sack leader? Would you believe me? I know, it sounds crazy, especially after what happened on draft night. But here we are, Falcons fans. As bizarre as it may seem, Trey Hendrickson, yes, that Trey Hendrickson, might be back in the trade rumors. And somehow, Atlanta might be lurking in the shadows. This is one of those stories where the more you look into it, the more surprising it becomes. So get ready, because what started out as a routine contract dispute is turning into a potentially game-changing one for the Falcons defense. And if you're a true dirty bird, you're going to want to hear every second of it. So make sure to hit that like button and comment below. What do you think about the idea of Hendrickson coming to Atlanta? I want to hear your thoughts. Now, let's go back in time. The seed was planted late last winter when Hendrickson quietly requested a trade from the Bengals. He wasn't angry, he wasn't loud, but he was definitely unhappy. The reason? His contract. Entering the final year of his deal, he was expected to make just $16 million, a figure that, compared to what elite pass rushers are making today, feels like a slap in the face. Just look at Myles Garrett, who makes $40 million a year. That kind of financial disparity makes $16 million seem like pocket change, especially when you lead the league in sacks with 17.5 in a single season. Initially, the Bengals said they were working on it. Hendrickson expressed hope, even interest in staying in Cincinnati for the long haul. Everything seemed to cool down. But then, the calm shattered. Hendrickson went public, and the tone had changed drastically. No communication has taken place between my camp and the organization post-draft, he said. That's not just frustration, that's a warning shot. He claimed the pre-draft offers didn't reflect what had been promised, adding that the coaching staff, including head coach Zach Taylor, had gone silent. Hendrickson even mentioned being warned he'd be fined if he skipped mandatory minicamp. So what did he do? He showed up, but only to speak to the media. He didn't practice. He didn't participate. He just made sure his voice was heard, loud and clear. And when asked if he'd play on his current deal, one word, no, that's not speculation. That's a line in the sand. He isn't bluffing. He's saying, pay me or I'm not suiting up. And that changes everything. Now, let's pull Atlanta into this. Why should the Falcons care? Because for all the moves they've made to fix their pass rush, and there have been plenty, the reality is, this defense still hasn't proven it can consistently bring heat. Since GM Terry Fontenot took over in 2021, the Falcons ranked dead last in sacks. That's not just bad, that's bottom-of-the-barrel awful. Sure, they've tried to fix it. They signed Leonard Floyd. They brought in Morgan Fox. They drafted Jalen Walker and James Pierce. And yes, Bralon Trice is coming back too. On paper, that's a promising group. But here's the thing, Falcons fans know better than to trust a paper promise. We've heard it all before. New pieces, new energy, and then by mid-season, we're wondering where the pressure went. That's why a name like Trey Hendrickson suddenly becomes more than just a rumor. It becomes an opportunity. Because even though the Falcons have built depth, they haven't built dominance. Not yet. And what if Fontenot is feeling the heat? What if he thinks this is a do-or-die season for him as GM? If that's the case, maybe he doesn't want to leave his job security in the hands of two rookies and a 32-year-old Floyd. Maybe he wants a sure thing. A proven commodity. A player who doesn't need development or projection, just a helmet and a quarterback to chase down. If Fontenot believes his job might be on the line, the idea of sending more draft capital to Cincinnati in exchange for a player like Hendrickson might not sound so crazy. Remember, Fontenot has already traded 2 future picks to move up in the draft this year. That tells us one thing, he's in go-for-it mode. He's not thinking 5 years down the line. He's thinking about winning now. Picture this, Hendrickson up front at defensive end, Jalen Walker and James Pierce flying off the edge, Caden Ellis blitzing through the middle, and Floyd rotating in to keep the pressure fresh. That's not just a decent pass rush. That's a front seven with teeth. Combine that with A.J. Terrell and Jesse Bates in the secondary, and suddenly you're not looking at a bottom 5 defense anymore. You're talking about a potential top 12, maybe even top 10 unit. And the best part? It's not fantasy. It's all in play. Hendrickson wants out. The Bengals are fumbling the negotiations. And the Falcons, for all their cautious optimism, still have room to grow on defense. All the ingredients are here. The only question is, will they take the swing? So let's put this out to you, Falcons fans. Should Atlanta go after Trey Hendrickson? Do the moves they've made already give you enough confidence, or would you rather add a proven sack machine to the mix? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And here's the kicker. While Hendrickson is calling out the Bengals front office, the Falcons are sitting in a very strategic position. They're not desperate, but they're not comfortable either. And in the NFL, that's often the sweet spot for a big move. It gives Fontenot leverage. He doesn't need Hendrickson, but if the right deal is on the table, he can justify pulling the trigger. No panic. No overpay. Just opportunity. Now imagine this scenario. It's mid-July. The Bengals haven't budged. Training camp is looming. Hendrickson holds out. Tension grows in Cincinnati. Meanwhile, in Flowery Branch, the Falcons' defensive unit is clicking, but not quite scaring anybody. It's solid, not explosive. That's when you make the call. That's when you offer a second-round pick, or maybe a conditional third that becomes a second if Hendrickson hits 10 sacks, and you bring a proven closer into the building. From a pure football standpoint, Hendrickson is a fit. His relentless motor, his explosiveness off the snap, and his ability to close on quarterbacks make him a dream addition to any defense. And with Atlanta already building a youth movement on the edge, Hendrickson becomes the veteran anchor, the guy who draws double teams and lets young guys like Pierce and Walker eat on the outside. It's a recipe for chaos. And Falcons fans know we've waited years for this defense to finally turn the corner. But this isn't just about numbers and X's and O's. This is about sending a message. A move for Hendrickson says to the locker room, we're not here to rebuild anymore. We're here to win. It tells the fan base that this team is serious about contending in the NFC South. And more importantly, it tells the rest of the league, the Atlanta Falcons are done being ignored. This isn't just about fixing a pass rush. It's about shifting the identity of the entire franchise. Look, there are risks. Hendrickson's contract needs to be extended. That's a whole other negotiation. You're giving up draft capital. You're betting on health. But in today's NFL, fortune favors the bold. And for a team that's been starving for elite defensive production for years, the reward might just outweigh the risk. So here's where we stand. Trey Hendrickson wants out. The Bengals aren't talking. The Falcons have a chance, not a guarantee, but a real shot to make a bold move that could change everything. And the clock is ticking. If you're still watching, now's the time to weigh in. Should the Falcons go all in for Hendrickson? Or stay the course with what they've built? Drop a like if you believe this defense is one piece away. Hit that subscribe button if you want more deep dives like this all season long. And don't forget, this team is just getting started. Go Falcons!